This is our documentary about CHC helicopters. With me, Sam Wiggins, and Oliver Bowman. This is CHC Life. We set off for Luton Airport at 7:20 on Friday night. When we arrived at the airport, however, we had some horrifying news.
I know.
It's freaking out.
Go on then, you can talk. What's just happened?
Okay, we arrived at the airport for a 7:35 flight to Aberdeen, but it turns out that that flight was our return flight from Aberdeen to Luton. So we missed our 5 o'clock flight to Aberdeen, and we're now waiting to be picked up by my mum. And we've got to get a 6:55 flight from Gatwick tomorrow morning to go up to Aberdeen, so it's been a major screw up.
As you can see, the news hit us hard. This was a major setback and caused us to rethink our plans for the whole weekend. We boarded the plane at 6 o'clock, tired and exhausted from the night before, however, ready and raring to work and film at CHC. We arrived at CHC after about a half-an-hour drive and a McDonald's breakfast, as film crews need to prepare for the day ahead.
So we're here with Jim Wiggins, my dad. So hey, say hello, Jim. Right. Okay. So we're just going to have a tour through the building now with Jim. So lead the way, sir.
Right, we're on the way into the terminal building.
Our dad led us through CHC helicopters with a little tour. It looked somewhat like MTV Cribs.
Pilots go out this door to go and get in their aircraft and sign for it. You can see them all lined up out there. There's the wall of shame.
We then proceeded to have a tour of all of the offices to show what the pilots do when they're on and when they're off. This was a great insight into the life of my dad.
There's one so you can see what it looks like. Everybody's with their flying suits all hanging up, ready to go.
Most of the time seemed to be spent either doing paperwork or sitting on sofas.
There's the lounge. Just in case we're delayed and bits and pieces like that, we all sort of hang around there waiting.
There seemed to be no end to the charts and paperwork at the job.
So to start us off, do you have any pilot experiences, like any seeing things out there that normal people wouldn't see, and cool things that you've seen as you've flown over the North Sea, or strange things or horrible things?
Not over the North Sea. Flew at night with northern lights in the Arctic, which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
You don't get to see it very often, and especially over snow, it creates a real light. It's pretty much like daylight,
awesome.
and it's quite special.
We then filmed the takeoff of an aircraft as the passengers are loaded on in their jumpsuits. They are led in a specific passage to the helicopter to avoid all of the dangerous areas. The helicopter then taxis to the runway, where it awaits permission to take off. The Sikorsky S-92 weighs 7 times the amount of a Mini Cooper. It's a tank, but in the air. It carries crew to and from rigs up to 40 times a day. the Sikorsky S-92 has to be rugged and durable in order to do this. In the next episode of CHC Life, we see rig flying, manic pilots, outrageous disasters, and when it really comes down to the wire, who's to blame?